Today on the Daily Dose, the San Francisco earthquake of 1989. On the 17th of October, 1989, Game 3 of the World Series, of what would become known as the Battle of the Bay, was about to go down in one of the greatest freeway series in baseball history. With the Oakland As leading 2-0, Al Michaels and Tim McCarver reported live from Candlestick Park as the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics were just minutes away from game time. Instead, at 5:04 p.m., with live cameras rolling on the field, a whopping 6.9 magnitude earthquake rocked the Bay Area with devastating consequences. Epicentered near Loma Prieta Peak in the Santa Cruz Mountains, 60 miles south of San Francisco, 67 people would lose their lives over the next 15 seconds, injuring more than 3,000 others in one of the largest quakes in Bay Area history. Built on reclaimed marshland for the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition, San Francisco's Marina District suffered some of the worst damage in the city. Known as liquefaction, the loosely packed and waterlogged soil shifted beneath buildings, sparking structural failures and ruptured gas line fires in homes built after the 1906 San Francisco earthquake that destroyed nearly 500 city blocks. Scheduled for an earthquake retrofit later the next week, one person was killed when a single span of the upper deck collapsed on the Bay Bridge, but the worst damage was reserved for a 1.25-mile segment of the Cypress Street Viaduct along Interstate 880, which pancaked onto the lower deck, taking the lives of 42 victims in a grisly moment of engineering catastrophe. One of the worst hard-hit areas was the agricultural community of Watsonville, just miles from the quake's epicenter, where more than 1 in 8 homes were destroyed, at the same time leveling 30% of Watsonville's downtown district and forcing hundreds of jittery residents into massive tent cities during the 20 aftershocks that followed over the next 7 days. Of the estimated $5 billion in damages, more than $11 billion in today's currency, after the dust settled on the big quake, San Francisco and other communities enacted strict retrofitting laws on all unreinforced masonry buildings in the quake-prone region, making the Loma Prieta Earthquake a massive game-changer in the history of San Francisco. And there you have it, the San Francisco earthquake of 1989. Today on the Daily Dose. Get your nerd on with the Daily Dose. And if you enjoyed today's episode, share the link with a friend or colleague, particularly the dumb ones that don't know jack.